let me just start this whole conversation by saying, I love Newport Beach. I love the safety, security, the atmosphere, the cleanliness, the police. I love the first response. I love everything about Newport Beach as far as the people, the camaraderie, the events. We've got junior lifeguards that were out front of my house. Just what you guys have created here. I'm from the Midwest, AmJur and I, with them via Seattle, then we go to Seattle. We don't have that. Communities don't have what you have here. And I moved here and thought, I'm never leaving. Like, I'm stuck here. So now how do I get into the community? I want to be part of it. So Christy was really good at like, oh, they do this and they have events, then they have barbecues, and then there's networking. And I was like, oh, I like networking. So I went, she goes, well, how about this? To get you involved, let me have some vodka and we'll serve it at the event, the first barbecue. Yeah. And I go, she's tricked me.
Got a lot of vodka at that barbecue.
Yeah. I didn't know what was going on, but I was handing out bottles. So.
Yeah. You're like, how much do people drink? What do we need to bring? I was like, you're like 5, 10 cases? Yeah, I was like, no, these are, how many people? You're like, no, this is a one event. Slow down.
Well, no, Andrew, I called him because that was the first time I started donating the vodka. I go, Andrew, okay, they said there are like 300 people. How much alcohol? And he did the math. He's like, okay, this many shots per bottle. Wait.
Yeah, so that she was literally like, what, should I bring like 10 cases? I'm like, that is so much alcohol. It's crazy.
I know, like 2 bottles would have been plenty.
2 to 4 bottles. She's like,
showed up with 2 bottles. You said, oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
I had 3 cases and they were gone. Yeah. So longer the short of it, I met a bunch of people at the event. I brought my swag and you guys were so accommodating. It was so cool. All the members were awesome. And then I met you and, I
was at the barbecue.
Yeah. And you think you were barbecuing.
That's what I meant. I was at the physical barbecue.
Physically, Steve, made me a burger.
I'm the cook of the chamber, for sure.
Yes, you pull off good events. But let's back up a little bit. I want to know a little bit about you. Yeah. You're very proud local, and but I was researching some of your history, and you're a lawyer.
I've been called worse, yeah.
I mean, you're a real estate lawyer, not family law.
I was a real estate lawyer. That's true. Yeah. Although, it's funny you should mention family law because when I was in law school, if you finish at the top of a class, an individual class, you can get what's called an AmJur Award. And it was in the middle of the summer, and a book shows up in the mail, like a law book, a big, thick, bound book. I'm looking at it, and it says like community property law. And so somehow I got the best grade in the class, and I didn't even get along with this professor. So I know a little bit about community property too.
Okay.
But yeah, real estate was my specialty.
It's the bread and butter. And then you also so let's back up a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Where are you from originally?
Well, if you want to go way back to the origin here.
Yes, I do.
It was Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you're not from here. I knew it.
No, not from here.
Okay, because you seem like an East Coaster or something.
I was born in Brooklyn to basically, what you'd think of as an immigrant family. I had aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff that all lived within like 2 or 3 blocks of each other. And we lived there shortly, and then family moved to Chicago. My dad took a job in Chicago, and we were there for about.
It's a good migration. You're slowly moving this way.
Another big city, but getting this way. Well, although then we regressed because we moved back to New York.
Okay.
And we were in Brooklyn again for about 5 years.
How old were you then?
Well, 67 to 72, so 7 to 12.
Okay.
And then from 12 to 14, we moved back to Chicago.
Okay.
My dad.
So you're teenage now. You're influenced.
No, 14. Well, 14. Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
14.
you're 14, so you're getting that teenage.
Sort of, yeah. Fun, discovering girls and all that stuff.
Yeah. In Chicago, that must have been fun.
Yeah. Well, we were in the suburbs, so maybe not as fun.
Oh, okay.
But and then moved to Arcadia actually in San Gabriel Valley when I was 14. 19.
How come you moved here?
So my parents bought a franchise, the Baskin Robbins ice cream franchise, in the new mall in the Santa Anita Fashion Park Mall, which is next to the Santa Anita racetrack.
Oh, that's why, because your bio says something about Baskin Robbins.
Well, that actually, I have my own personal connection with that later on, but that was the reason we moved to California, to open that store in the mall.
Did you have way too much ice cream as a child?
I did. I still, honestly, I still have way too much. Well, probably borderline, but ice cream. I do love ice cream.
Oh.
Yeah, I love ice cream.
I love ice cream too. I love what's the green one? Almond has almonds in it. Pistachio.
Pistachio almond.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Oh God. Okay, so you moved back and forth, which is great. So you're East Coast, you're a little hardcore. You know how to say no. You're a little rough. Okay, we got it.
Yeah,
East Coast people are always just like.
I like this description.
Yeah. Oh, Chicago and East Coast, come on. And then you moved to Arcadia.
Arcadia, yeah.
And then to do the Baskin Robbins thing, and now you're what, 16, 17?
14 when we moved there, so until 18. And then I actually went back east again to Philadelphia for college, University of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So spent 4 years there.
And you went to law school here, though, right?
Yeah, I gave my parents a break and said, okay, I'm going to go to a state school for my law. And I mean, it doesn't get much better than UCLA. It's a top 20 law school. So I wasn't sacrificing much, but
so
they did save a lot of money on my law school.
In-state tuition?
Yeah, in-state tuition, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so now you're what, 21, 22, 23,
yeah,
graduated?
Well, law school is 25.
25,
and then that's when I moved down here to Newport Beach.
Oh, so you were young.
So you've
when
been
you
here
moved
your entire adult life?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
because
because before school, I consider as soon as you're done with school, that's when your adult life starts.
Yeah, okay, then I moved here to Balboa Island.
I'm getting your backstory because we also kind of just migrated here, and I could tell you weren't from here, so I was like, where is he? Because your attitude is really, you've got that swanky, cool, like jazz club vibe attitude.
I should have worn my hat, right?
Yeah, little top
hat.
So then how did you get into politics? Because you were the mayor for a year from 2006 to 2007.
Yeah, well, I moved to Newport Beach.
Okay,
and, I
got into real estate.
I got into real estate law. I was a lawyer, worked for a large law firm here to retain.
Quick question. What exactly does real estate law do?
So, I mean, there's different parts of it, but I was what they call a transactional attorney. So the kind of things that I worked on when I did practice law at a large law firm, which is the type of business that they would do, is loan work for major loans that banks are making, sales of like a shopping center or tracts of land,
major stuff,
big stuff.
When party A and party B need to make sure everything, all the I's are dotted and the cross T's.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be just buying my Duffy.
Yeah. Some states, the lawyers actually do handle. It's not, they don't have like escrow companies and things, and the lawyer actually handles the transaction. Not here so much, but that would be another.
I was just kind of curious on what exactly.
Different things. I remember working once on one of our clients was going to buy a restaurant chain. It was actually Coco's, I think Coco's, and they had 3 or 4 concepts, and so they were going to buy the chain, all the chains, and so we were called in to do the lease reviews. So we had to review like 200 leases to make sure that there was nothing unusual that that they were going to get bid on
once they
agreed.
Okay.
So it's a lot. It's a varied thing. I mean,
covering
different areas.
so you cover people's butts in real estate deals.
We try to, yeah.
That's the goal. Okay.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I just I was curious about that.
No, so you were in real estate, but then.
So yeah.
How does that work? So you were in real estate here then in Newport Beach. So you've already kind of put yourself in the community here.
Yeah. Even if you want to dial back a little, the reason I wound up in Newport Beach.
Yeah. How did you?
Arcadia and that whole Pasadena, San Marino area. A lot of wealthier families that a lot of them had like second homes down here. So kids that I went to school with, they'd come down to the beach for the summer. Now, we were not part of that wealthy crowd, but I knew a couple people. So occasionally I'd get invited down to spend a weekend or something. And I said, this is a great place. If I could just live here year round. I mean, that's what I was thinking back in school days. So when I had the opportunity out of UCLA to take the job here in Costa Mesa, I said, I'm moving to Newport Beach and I'm moving on to Balboa Island. I had to live on.
He's manifesting this whole thing.
I actually have a funny story about that too. So I at the time I was going to law school still, and or I just graduated. Maybe it was over the summer. And I had a Chevy Chevette, and if you know what a Chevy Chevette is, I mean, this is like
back in the day. Was it green?
It was maroon or something. It was not a deluxe car. But I threw my bike into the back, and I drove down here, got the bike out, and I literally went up and down every street on Balboa Island looking for rent signs for
smart
apartment.
Yeah.
I saw 2 signs. I rented the one out of the 2, and That's how I wound up here in Newport
Did it have the
Beach.
price on it too? Like,
I
okay.
remember, but
Yeah. Well, back in the day, they didn't have
But you
Zillow
were gonna-
or
yeah,
Redfin.
no,
or-
Zillow was get on your bike. and
Yeah,
go
get
see-
on your bike and do it
see
yourself.
yeah.
Determined to live on Balboa
Oh yeah, I
Island.
wanted to live on Balboa Island for sure. Yeah, you've been to Balboa Island.
Oh, of course.
It's kind of a special place.
Yeah.
I remember when I used to come home from work and you drive over the bridge and you get to the other side and you feel like you're like in Mayberry or something.
Yeah.
It was like a whole different vibe there.
I heard they had hunting before back on the island.
Oh,
Back
maybe.
way,
back.
yeah.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever moves they were shooting.
I was like, how do you
Shooting it or
even go?
harpooning it.
The
Yeah.
island's kind of small. I always wondered how they had hunting on it. I'm like,
It's
pheasant.
probably like a duck club or something.
It's probably
where
a duck
they're
club.
shooting,
It's
ducks
probably
and,
like,
the
yeah.
geese that are
Or like,
flying over.
skeet shooting.
Because this used to be like a sandy swamp area.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
A long time ago.
Really, the harbor was the mouth of the river, the Santa Ana River. If it's channelized now and it goes out to the ocean, but it
I
actually
didn't
used to
know
dump
that.
into the top of the harbor there, like where Newport Island is and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just a big marshy sandbar kind
Until
of.
It might still be if they keep cloud seeding. Daily Logic Check. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Daily Logic Check. I'm Elizabeth Vargas, your host, with my co-host, AmJur Vargas. If you like what you saw, you like what you see, click like, subscribe, follow us, and support us on Patreon. Peace, love, and happiness.